WRDE Coast TV.
Work continues at the site of a water contamination in Georgetown. What neighbors and the EPA are saying about the progress of this project.
Here's a look at radar, and we have the last remnants of the storm still making its impact. Portions of Delmarva. We're still not quite finished with the rain just yet.
Property tax bills on the way in Sussex County, how you can view and pay your bills.
Tiny homes to solve a big problem, how a new pallet village in Milford could help house the homeless.
A new alert system for Ocean City drivers, what else it'll work for.
From the beaches to the bay, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV. Your local news at 11 starts right now.
Water contamination in Georgetown. Today's meeting to try and answer questions and calm fears. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with the EPA working to fix a decades-old problem with water contamination. Two former laundromats are getting the blame for harmful compounds in the soil and water. At a meeting tonight, neighbors said they were surprised it took so long for something to be done, but they're glad the issue is finally being addressed.
Coast TV reporter Charles Reinert is in the newsroom. Charles, the EPA says that they're going to be in Georgetown working on a cleanup effort for a long time.
Charlie and Mallory, the Environmental Protection Agency and the town of Georgetown both say that the water is safe to drink and to use. But the EPA says there may be other issues in the air. Digging in to a long and tedious cleanup process. The Environmental Protection Agency held a meeting tonight to update the public on the cleanup of contaminated soil that's been there since the 80s. Tamara Stort Mizell, who owns one of the sites, has questions.
Why did it take so long for it to come about? Because I know it's been years ago that the dry cleaners was there and active.
The EPA has identified numerous spots with contaminated soil in the northern part of town and says the dangerous chemicals came from solvents leaking from two former dry cleaners. Officials in Georgetown claim the town's water hasn't been affected by this contamination.
The air stripper technology takes out the volatile organic chemicals, and that's what it's taking out today. So the water that's coming out of the plant and distribution throughout the town is safe to drink, safe to use.
However, those volatile organic compounds in the soil can still turn into dangerous vapor, and prolonged exposure to it can cause serious health issues like nervous system damage and cancer. The EPA says it may have to inspect homes for harmful compounds as soon as this fall. They say the goal is to make sure everyone is safe as the investigation continues.
We will be studying the soil and groundwater conditions throughout different parts of the site, and that will later inform our vapor intrusion assessments and our design for a future remedy.
Finding solutions to fix a long-standing problem. The EPA says it is possible for the contamination from both sites to overlap and make one big vapor plume, but there is no confirmation on something like this happening at this time. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Charles. New images tonight of the storm this afternoon. These pictures sent in by Taylor Trippett in Hebron. You can see large pieces of hail raining down on a deck, and it appears a tree was knocked over as well.
And now let's take a live look outside into our Hershey Exteriors camera at the 45th Street Tap House there in Ocean City. We've seen a lot of rain along the coast this evening, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams is going to join us now with a look at our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Mallory and Charlie. So we still have some leftover scattered showers in the area racing towards the northeast at this present time. And we actually have a hail maker still over towards Liberty Town right now, moving towards the northeast, moving from Liberty Town towards Ocean Pines and Sepsiquet. And we are also seeing another line of scattered showers that's starting to create some embedded thunderstorms moving throughout portions of Saxtus and towards Groton as well. So this is going to be tracking towards the northeast pretty steadily right here. And so it's expected to move in northeast and expected to hit Bullbeggar at about 11:34 and then Meona at about 11:45. So that's part of our concern that we have at this present time. Most of Sussex County, for the most part, not dealing with any additional scattered showers, but most of the rain is actually to the south of the Sussex County border. But we're not under any warnings or watches at this present time, but we still have some rain-soaked situations to talk about. Now, we'll talk about the amount of rain that's fallen in different areas coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you, Mallory.
Thank you, Paul. And now let's take a look at our Coast TV poll tonight. We asked, do you think a hurricane will hit the coast this year? Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier this evening.
Pretty even there right now. 55% saying yes, 45% saying no. Remember, it's never actually directly hit us here along the coast. That doesn't mean it couldn't happen. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that on WRDE.com or our mobile app.
We'll have updated results later in this newscast. Sussex County's Business Service Office has begun issuing bills for the 2024 fiscal year, totaling an estimated $196.5 million in tax revenue. County officials say bills can be viewed online, but paper copies will be mailed throughout August. They say the county will mail more than 134,000 paper copies, while more than 60,000 bills will be sent electronically to mortgage lenders for the 2024 tax year. The county says payment is due by September 30th.
Building homes for those without them. Tiny homes in the Pallet Village of Georgetown. They've been a big success, and now Milford is taking the first steps towards building their own small village. The city is expecting to receive ARPA funds that help construct a village, and Mayor Archie Campbell hopes to build enough units that would house the almost 50 homeless people currently in Milford. Martha Gary, who started the nonprofit Milford Advocacy for the Homeless, says this solution helps people with just nowhere else to go.
The challenge is land, where we're going to put it all. But, I believe that everything's going to work out just fine. So now that the funding's come through and the code is changing, I see a real potential for it to make a change within our community.
The city is still working on finalizing funding, but they say they believe that will come through. And once it does, the next step would be figuring out a location to actually build the homes.
I'm Madeline Overturf. Here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. If you are headed to downtown Salisbury on Friday, heads up. The right lane on Calvert Street near Baptist will be closed. That's to allow the city to repair a failing utility patch. People in Ocean City can now get emergency alerts easier. A new program called OC Alert allows residents to opt in to pings about potentially hazardous situations. Those include weather, traffic, and other emergencies. In Wallops Island, a NASA rocket launch done by students has been rescheduled to Wednesday morning due to Tuesday's weather. The two rockets carry experiments developed by more than 30 university and college teams in the NASA's Rock On program. That's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Madeline Overturf.
Former President Trump and his 18 co-defendants have until next Friday to turn themselves in to authorities in Georgia. The charges include felony racketeering and numerous conspiracy charges.
Former President Donald Trump is teasing a major news conference Monday, responding to the Georgia indictment, which is just 4 days before his deadline to surrender in Georgia.
Former President Trump facing 13 felony counts, including conspiracy charges in connection to alleged efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results.
The defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise.
The indictment names 19 defendants, each charged with violating Georgia's RICO Act, a statute typically used against criminal organizations. Prosecutors use it to break down individual roles in a complex scheme.
Narrow this down to some common themes that a jury could understand and see how these pieces of the puzzle fit together.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis is pushing for a trial within the next 6 months as Trump's legal team prepares to put up a fight.
And it's ironic that they waited 2.5 years to try and now have it in 6 months. The reason was they wanted to mess him up right in the middle of a campaign.
In a fundraising email, the former president claims his 4 indictments are aimed at blocking his chances of winning the White House in 2024. But one Georgia Republican who testified that the 2020 election was not rigged urges voters to pivot.
As a Republican that cares about the future of this country, this is our moment to hit the reset button.
Support for the GOP frontrunner remains strong. Analysts predict that might last through the primaries, but could damage the GOP in a potential rematch with President Biden.
If we start seeing those numbers separate by 5, 6, 7 points, the argument to say Donald Trump cannot win a general election will start to take hold.
Former President Trump facing political and legal battles heading into a tumultuous presidential campaign. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
And new tonight, former Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, he wants the charges filed against him in Georgia moved to federal court. Meadows is arguing that he is entitled to bring a federal immunity defense because the charges against him stem from his conduct as President Donald Trump's chief of staff.
Hunter Biden's lead criminal defense attorney wants off the case. In his request to withdraw, Christopher Clark told a federal judge he could now be called as a witness in the future proceedings since the plea agreement will likely be contested. Last week, federal prosecutors said they reached an impasse on the plea deal related to tax offenses and a gun possession charge.
We're just getting started here at 11.
That's right. Coming up, money, money, money. How to get the most bang for your buck in retirement.
And it looks like the storms haven't retired as of yet. We still have some isolated pockets of thunderstorms near Liberty Town that's creating more in the way of hail at this hour.
Kathy McGinnis sues Delaware's Attorney General why the convicted ex-auditor says her rights were violated. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, delve into emotions of school transitions. Gear up for 60s energy at Hippie Fest. And the Rehoboth Reflections photo competition takes center stage. Coast Life tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
This is how we do the summertime, summertime. This is how we do the summertime, summertime. This is how we do the summertime.
Smart shades set the vibe. Protection from the sun. Party vibes. Relaxed in bed. Cozy vibes. Lower energy bills. Energy savings vibes. Smart shades do the work for you, making it easier to create the right vibe. Book your free consultation today at budgetblinds.com.
10 months after being convicted of misconduct, former Delaware State Auditor Kathy McGinnis is alleging misconduct by the people that prosecuted her.
Kathy McGinnis was found guilty of 3 misdemeanor charges of misconduct in July 2022. In these court documents, she says the case against her was built on false statements and half-truths, so much so she believes her constitutional rights were violated. In July 2022, Kathy McGinnis was found guilty of misdemeanors, conflict of interest, official misconduct, and structuring a contract to avoid a procurement rule. McGinnis has long maintained her innocence and now fighting back in the courtroom. In this civil lawsuit filed Tuesday, McGinnis says Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings and now former Director of the Division of Civil Rights and Public Trust, Mark Denny, slandered her, claiming the two lied about McGinnis's political payments to a consulting group. The Department of Justice defended its actions, telling Coast TV News, quote, "We've heard this tirade before. It was rejected and she was convicted by a jury of her peers." But McGinnis's attorney says Chief Investigator Frank Robinson knowingly provided false information in a sworn affidavit violating her constitutional rights. McGinnis's attorney questioning the legality of one search warrant. The lawsuit calls his conduct, quote, "riddled with half-truths and false statements." The DOJ calls this lawsuit, quote, "another sad, desperate, and wasteful attempt by the ex-auditor to change the consequences of her actions." McGinnis is demanding a jury trial, compensatory damages, and for her legal fees to be covered. McGinnis's attorney tells Coast TV News, quote, "The public is owed by prosecutors to bring prosecution in good faith," unquote. And that's not what happened here. McGinnis appealed her criminal sentencing in November 2022. According to this complaint, her appeal is still pending and an oral argument is scheduled for September 20th.
Pull out those smartphones, open up the camera app, and just scan the QR code down here in the corner of the screen. Anytime we're up here doing the forecast for you, because, hey, we've had some touch-and-go situations and still a few leftover storms from tonight. Taking a look in Salisbury, it's actually been picking up on a few flashes of lightning in the background. That's why I have our Spicer Brothers camera up, although we do see the thick cloud cover and the low clouds in play for right now. Here's a look at the latest as far as the most active showers that we have still dancing across portions of our viewing area, racing towards the northeast, moving at about 25 miles per hour. Most of the rain is beginning to lose a lot of its strength, and we had a cell that was actually creating an opportunity for some hail. That's begun to weaken. But this one coming near Saxon and head towards ground, well, that one hasn't quite weakened as of yet. So as we begin to take a look at that one, we're going to track that one for right now. It's going to be moving more so towards the northeast. There we go. And so it's still expected to hit Bull Beggar, then Meona, and then Signpost Community, because that's the path in which this storm is actually traveling at this moment. And we're not expecting much in the way of additional scattered showers inside of, let's say, Sussex County. Now, you actually saw some video earlier of some of the storm reports that we've had officially from the National Weather Service. But in Laurel, we have reports of trees down in Laurel. That was at about, say, 5:26. Then also, we have reports real closely related to each other near Hebron. Large tree uprooted near Hebron at about 5:05. And then a secondary report of a tree that down power lines, actually, around 5:05. There's a couple of the official reports coming in from these storms. Now, where we have the trough right now, that's where we have the active storms still churning at this present time. We're not expecting it to lift to the north very much at all. And as far as tracking the lightning is concerned, it's really, most of it is off of the map, so to speak. Now, what about the amount of rain? We have accumulations of nearly 2, almost 3 inches near Deal Island and Maundy. But in other areas, for example, near Greenwood, we have over 2 inches near University Road, Blanchard, Crooked Hat, along Blanchard Road and Utica Road. But not only there, but we also have accumulations near Slaughter Beach, Isaac Shore Road, Bay Avenue, as well as Slaughter Beach Road, accumulations of at least 1 1/3 unofficially with our estimations from our radar. Now, our observed rain is looking relatively light, but as you take a look at our rainfall total, we had over 1 inch in Ellendale, 3/4 of an inch in Slaughter Beach, close to 1 inch worse in Greenwood, over 1/2 inch in Prime Hook as examples. Our risk for the rest of the evening stays at non-severe, and the marginal risk of severe weather has moved on to the north and out of the way. Here's a look at the temperatures right now. We're at 75 in Rehoboth and Bethany Beach, but also at 75 in Selbyville and in Seaford. Water temperatures, 76 for us in Lewis, and 76 actually looking pretty uniform right out towards the Atlantic. Our anticipation for Wednesday going into Wednesday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s, but a good deal of sunshine. And by the time we get into the afternoon, temperatures in the mid-80s. Not so steamy, not so hot, because it looks like we've gotten around the bend or over the hump, so to speak, to get to much better weather. So we're looking for some sunshine. So when you take a look at our UV index, courtesy of Face of Grace Practice and Sun Safety, we're looking out for the UV index to be a bit of a problem. Here's a look at your extended forecast. No more red days, no more alert days, no more severe weather, no problems, man.
Sounds good. Thank you, Paul. A reminder, you can hear Coast TV news and weather updates throughout the day on our family of radio stations. Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 FM on 93.5 The Beach and on Big 107.7.
Coming up, see how this team is gearing up to compete at the top of the state. Our Delmarva Sports Network's crew has the coverage.
And next, an arraignment pending in the case of these abused dogs, but animal welfare officers say there's one big roadblock.
Get ready for an unforgettable driving experience at Gateway Subaru. Discover the rugged elegance of the Subaru Outback with its symmetrical all-wheel drive that ensures you'll conquer any terrain with confidence. Or get ready to elevate your drive with the all-new, redesigned 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with its sleek design, advanced technology, and enhanced performance. Right now, you can custom order the all-new Crosstrek at Gateway Subaru. Embrace the thrill of driving and embark on your next adventure. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Rural communities are on the front lines of a changing climate. Farmers can implement climate-smart practices that improve soil health, nutrient management, and energy efficiency. These practices improve our profitability, resiliency, and help to open new markets.
We know voluntary conservation works and are committed to working with farmers and forest landowners to leverage resources to increase climate resiliency through conservation practices. To learn more about climate smart practices, scan this QR code to find your local USDA service center.
Living a good life means being healthy. But what does it mean to be healthy and stay healthy? It means getting the right kind of care. Right here. And convenient. It means having the right hospital to coordinate the delivery of health care for the entire community. Atlantic General Hospital. We'll put you on the right path to good health. And keep you there.
Delmarva customers choose Coastal Bath.
Coastal Bath works with you. We were able to get everything we wanted at the price we wanted. We just loved working with them.
Coastal Bath gave us a beautiful walk-in shower. It's much safer.
Coastal Bath is the #1 choice for us.
Now extended. Coastal Bath's sizzling summer savings is hot. Take $2,500 off your new bathroom now through August 31st. Listen to Logan. Local and family owned. Call or visit coastalbaths.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today.
The Office of Animal Welfare says the owner of 35 dogs found without running water or electricity in Lewis will be arraigned, but there is one problem. They haven't found him yet. According to the Office of Animal Welfare and Delaware Animal Services, they scheduled a meeting with the owner, but he never showed up. The agency even says they believe that he has, quote, been hiding from them. Officials say a warrant will be released once he is arraigned.
Sussex County is dealing with the challenges of a growing retired population. From tax strategy to Social Security and Medicare, these are often topics you don't learn about until you have to. Resources like the Delaware Money School that help you plan for retirement are few and far between here, leaving some people feeling like they don't have resources when it's come time to retire.
People have been retiring for a long time, but it's, as they say, it's not your grandparents' retirement. The dynamics that people will face today in terms of interest rates, in terms of inflation, in terms of longevity are much different than they were 30 and 40 years ago.
The Delaware Money School and InFocus Financial Advisors are working together to offer this retirement boot camp workshop at the Lewis Public Library. One took place tonight. The next are from 5 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, August 22nd and 29th.
The Delaware Department of Health and Social Services is looking for feedback from people to develop a state service plan. The purpose of the plan is to improve volunteerism and community service in Delaware. According to the department, the plan needs to be developed by state commissioners every 3 years. Officials requesting people participate in their online survey to offer input on strategies and ideas for a service plan.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
What's going on, sports fans? We head to Dagsboro to Indian River High School. The Indians are coming off back-to-back playoff berths and are returning 9 all-district players. DSN's Luke Neely goes inside the huddle to see how Indian River is taking 2023 by storm.
It's not often that a high school football team is only suiting up 17 upperclassmen. For Indian River, youth is the reality for ninth-year head coach Philip Townsend.
So we're young in a lot of key positions like our receiver and running back. They got a lot of playing time last year, but this year I have 9 seniors, 10 seniors, 7 juniors. It's kind of that COVID where these guys were freshmen, the COVID stuff, and then I have like 25 freshmen and 25 sophomores.
But of the returners for the Indians, 9 were all-district players in 2022. And Townsend is ready to watch those guys carry the load.
Because they're picking up where they left off last year. We're running the same offense, same defense. They're a little bit ahead of the younger guys, so it's good. They can lead by example.
One of those returners is second-team all-district center Austin Grice. Grice is a mainstay on a young offensive line, and he looks forward to leading the guys.
I want to develop our guys that are coming up. You got a lot of upperclassmen that play other positions that have stepped up this year, so trying to develop them to become the best players they can be and work together as a unit.
Luke, thank you so much. That's all for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Still to come, hurricane season, why the forecast is being changed just as storms are ready to ramp up.
And coming up next, Margaritaville in Ocean City moving a step closer to reality, how a city council meeting today helped things along.
Transform your outdoor space with Backyard Works. We are Sussex County's one call for all your fence, deck, handrail, pergolas, shower, and trash enclosure needs. Locally owned and operated, we make all our vinyl and aluminum fence right here in Harbison, Delaware, from American-made manufacturers. Cut out the middleman and deal direct. As a TimberTech Platinum deck dealer, our trained team will professionally install your deck that will last a lifetime. Give us a call and let us make your backyard work.
Hey Delmarva, join us at Preston Ford for the Discover Summer Sales Event. Don't miss out on the $1,000 Preston Trade Assistance offer. Right now, lease a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT for as low as $549 a month. Every vehicle purchase comes with our Preston for Life lifetime engine guarantee. Hop online and visit PrestonFord.com and come see our entire inventory. And remember, we deliver. Come out to the Preston Discover Sales Event going on right now at Preston Ford. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
Party decor and more. The store that has all your party supply needs. Festive holiday decor. Game day team supplies. Balloons that are safe for the sky. Announcing a special surprise. And of course, something for every birthday year that flies by. Party decor and more. The only party store at the beach. Midway Shopping Center in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Smart shades set the vibe. Protection from the sun. Party vibes. Relaxed in bed. Cozy vibes. Lower energy bills. Energy savings vibes. Smart shades do the work for you, making it easier to create the right vibe. Book your free consultation today at budgetblinds.com.
The American black duck is an iconic species, well known throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. Although the population is currently stable, they're well below their population goals and they're considered a species of concern. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service looks to increase and restore black duck habitat throughout the Delmarva Peninsula.
I utilize the Working Lands for Wildlife program to help transform a low-lying wet area into waterfowl habitat.
To learn more about the Working Lands for Wildlife program, contact your local USDA Service Center.
There was some forward movement today for a Margaritaville planned for Ocean City. Today at 1 p.m., City Council discussed air rights for the new resort. This is after a request was made for air rights above a portion of the alley known as Washington Lane between 13th and 14th Street, where the hotel will go. Developers say the resort will have 250 rooms, a large pool, a conference center, and various restaurants.
We are now entering the peak of hurricane season. Despite a relatively quiet start to the season, NOAA has released an update to their predictions, and it calls for an above-normal hurricane season. Meteorologist Jeanette Gallardo explains why the change was made and how you need to prepare.
Damaging winds, floods, and even tornadoes have all hit Delmarva in tropical systems, leaving damage like that from Tropical Storm Isaias, seen here. The ongoing El Niño would typically suppress hurricane formation this fall, but abnormally warm ocean temperatures are expected to offset El Niño and act as fuel instead. Emergency officials say the recent hurricane prediction uptick means you need to prepare just in case.
Have a disaster kit. That's that 3-day supply of what you need. Could be bottled water, battery-powered radio, flashlight, money, important documents.
It has been a slow start to the tropics compared to last year. We have seen 5 named storms so far, with only one of those reaching hurricane strength. That said, NOAA has upped its prediction to 14 to 21 named storms, with 6 to 11 of those expected to reach that hurricane strength.
It doesn't matter what the predictions are. It only takes one storm. And that's really the message. It only takes one.
Hurricane season began June 1st, though peak hurricane season begins now until mid-October. Various resources, such as evacuation routes, can be found online to help you and your family prepare well ahead of any storm. In Sussex County, I'm meteorologist Jeanette Gallardo, Coast TV News.
It is worth noting that the state of Delaware has never experienced a direct hurricane landfall, but it has dealt with widespread flooding and tornadoes from tropical systems, making preparedness important nonetheless.
And that brings us back to our Coast TV poll of the night. We asked, do you think a hurricane will hit the coast this year? Taking a look at the screen here, it was about an even split earlier. Still 55% for yes, 45% for no. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do so. Share your thoughts with us at WRDE.com or on our mobile app. Still to come, fun at the fair. What this weekend of fun in Salisbury has to offer. Stay with us. You're watching Coast TV News at 11.
You bet your life.
Get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Summer won't last forever, but with a great selection of vehicles during Toyota's national sales event, there is still time to capture new memories.
Hey, how are you?
With friends and family. Before it all flies by.
Get 3.99% APR on a Tacoma, or go a point lower on a 4x2. Or pick a 2023 Tundra or 4Runner, 2 of the top 10 cars with best resale value.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
The doctors of Delmarva Chiropractic take great pride in offering the finest, most individualized care to their patients and stay on the cutting edge of healthcare and clinical interventions. As winners of Coastal Style and Metropolitan Magazine's Best Chiropractors for 7 years in a row, Doctors Lane, Brown, and Taylor help with conditions such as back pain, sciatica, headaches, concussions, dizziness, and much more. The clinic also offers laser therapy, decompression, acupuncture, and custom orthotics. Call Delmarva Chiropractic today and take the first step toward achieving your maximum potential.
Get ready for an unforgettable driving experience at Gateway Subaru. Discover the rugged elegance of the Subaru Outback with its symmetrical all-wheel drive that ensures you'll conquer any terrain with confidence. Or get ready to elevate your drive with the all-new, redesigned 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with its sleek design, advanced technology, and enhanced performance. Right now, you can custom order the all-new Crosstrek at Gateway Subaru. Embrace the thrill of driving and embark on your next adventure. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
At Chesapeake Home Services, we take the risk so you don't have to. Trust our team with the sale and installation of your new heating and air conditioning system, and if you're not satisfied for any reason within the first year and we can't fix it, we'll buy it back. At Chesapeake, we make sure you get the best affordable price to include flexible financing options with payments as low as $95 a month. When it's time for a new HVAC system, take the safest road out there. Chesapeake Home Services, we always go the extra mile.
Service sure to make you smile. They always go the extra mile.
The Dots classic hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The Duck on 107.1, 105.1, and 104.3. The station where you know the words to every song.
Download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
Food, music, competitions, and fun. Those 4 words sum up the excitement of the Wicomico County Fair. It returns to Winter Place Park in Salisbury this weekend. Organizers say the fair aims to showcase the importance of agriculture on the Eastern Shore in a family-friendly atmosphere. You can expect to see the Maryland High School Rodeo, livestock shows, watermelon pie, and hot wing eating contests, a petting farm, fair queen pageant, axe throwing, and a whole lot more. Admission and parking at the fair are free.
All right. Well, real quick, another thing that's free is our umbrella giveaway, but you do have to sign up for it. Rich Armstrong of Millsboro, congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. We're no longer under a severe thunderstorm watch in our area, but we still have some leftover storms rumbling across the region, also near Salisbury actually right about now. And then we also have moving towards Ocean Pines and Golf Club Shores. All of this is racing towards the northeast at about 30 miles per hour with some occasional heavy downpours, but it looks like all the storms or the cells that were causing hail, those have now gone ahead and shrunk and gotten out of the way. Overall, we do see a few sprinkles that's moving across Highway 1 going towards Lewis, but aside from that, everything else is looking pretty clear for now. Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Now we can finally talk about some sunshine. Listen, from Wednesday all the way into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 81 and 88 degrees, 91 on Monday. But listen, we stay with the sunshine until we get to like next Friday. Now that's what we're talking about.
I like when we have good news there.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.